Well, what else do you have
But
for us,
like,
Joe? Was there? Oh,
huh? Huh?
what
What
else do you
happened?
have for us? Because you had another. Speaking of roofs,
I no.
Shot, shot.
But no, I do have one. I do have one. So I've had a lot of people asking me to talk about this for a while, and I didn't, because I didn't think it was news. I didn't think this was anything new. But ITER, the International Tokamak.
oh right,
Anyway, what does it stand for? The Nuclear Fusion Project, ITER, over in France. So it made some news recently because basically the reactor part has begun construction, and I think they're going for 2025 to get the thing going. And the reason why I haven't covered it anywhere is because I did a nuclear fusion video like a year and a half ago, and I was talking about ITER in that. So I was like,
Right.
why is everybody making it? Okay, this is something I've noticed. Sorry, I'm going off track here. But sometimes I'll do a video on a topic, and then 6 months or a year later, suddenly that thing that I did the video about way back when is suddenly like all over the news, and everybody's like, "Oh, Joe, you need to cover this." I'm like, "But I already
did
covered it. Like,
right.
it's not like what this isn't news. I've already talked about this like a long time ago."
Yeah.
And that's how I felt about this.
Well, because they hit some
ITER's
kind
been
of
in construction
milestone
for
that makes it into the general news cycle, and then people get turned on to it.
Yeah, well, in this case, it's the fact that the actual nuclear fusion component of ITER is now under construction. ITER itself, the facility, has been under construction for years, for a long time, and it will be for a long time. But I guess the fact that the actual fusion reactor part of it, the tokamak, is now under construction.
It's the Sagrada Familia of reactors. No, nobody.
Nope.
Nobody at all.
It's just total crickets.
What'd you say? The Grata Familia?
Sagrada Familia? Isn't that the thing in Barcelona that's going to take 500 years to complete the church?
Oh. Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah. I know.
Have some culture in your life, people.
I know. What's
welcome.
a Barcelona?
Yeah.
Barcelona.
Barcelona.
So anyway, it's an international project. It actually, they started planning it. Reagan and Gorbachev first signed a deal to get this thing started. So that's how long this has been in the works.
Wow.
Yeah.
So somehow this was all a conspiracy. Got it.
Right. So yeah, the Soviet Union, United States,
Right.
Japan, and Europe were the ones that were. Oh, here, International Thermal Experimental Reactor.
There we go.
That's what ITER stands for. I knew it was in there somewhere.
The ITER?
Yeah. So it began in earnest in 2010. So again, it's been under construction for 10 years, but now they're in the assembly phase when the reactor's components are starting to put in place. So that's why it's getting attention right now. And that's why I kind of ignored it, because...
Mm-hmm.
What is the degree of confidence here?
Okay, so in this article, they talk about how, so there are lots of test beds, nuclear fusion test beds, but they're never, the big thing is they can't produce more energy than they're taking in.
Right. So
That's
why
the
this
problem.
one? Like, what's...
It's
and
big.
I'm sure you covered it in your video, but...
Yeah, it's really big. It's supposed to actually get 10 times the power out that goes into it, according to this article anyway. But the facts around it are just bananas. It's so crazy. Let me see if I can find some of it here.
Well, and
I mean,
to answer while you're looking for to Ben to help answer that question, at some point it scales. It's linear scaling where eventually you make it big enough that it can actually become a net positive, and all you have to do is at least prove that we can scale it to that point, even, and it's a huge win. Like, then it's basically game over. We know we can do it. It's not just theoretical. And I think if this even has a return of 2 to 1 or 1.1 to 1, and it's a net positive, like, that's awesome.
Right. I get the whole promise of fusion. I'm just thinking this is a 30, 40-year project, $1 trillion.
And what makes us so sure?
Like, yeah, like wouldn't you kind of want to have a really high degree of certainty that this is going to work? So that's just kind of what I'm wondering. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Maybe they figured it out, and they're like, well, I did this thing in Excel, and look, the numbers add up, right? Or is it like, no, we did like computer simulations and we spent 5 years making sure that 100% this is going to work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's a little bit of both of those things. And, and like I said, there are smaller test beds that have they've seen that they can get X amount out of it. So if we scale it up bigger, we would be able to get this much out and stuff. But I'm sure it's being called the most complicated. Yeah.
1 or 2.
It's being called the most complicated engineering project in human history. The reactor itself will have 3,000 tons of superconducting magnets that will be linked by 160 miles of superconducting cables, all kept at negative 269 degrees Celsius by the largest cryogenic plant in the world.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. It was saying somewhere on here that the electromagnets could actually pick up an aircraft carrier. That's how strong they are.
That's ridiculous.
How do they
it says to catch these reactions, they generate globs of plasma in excess of 100 million Kelvin. To date, the longest record is just 1 minute long of sustaining that plasma, but this one is supposed to keep it for longer, obviously. Yeah, it's just nuts. It's nuts.
We've got a fact check coming in from Discord: 22 to 65 billion, which sounds like nothing to me.
I mean,
that's like 1% or no 10% of the U.S. defense budget.
to usher in a technology that would completely transform
humanity,
our energy, for forever.
Yeah, right.
I'm good with that. Like this feels 22 to 65 billion. Like if you're Jeff Bezos, you're still super rich after paying for it 100% yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
well, and
wild.
so actually, you mentioned Jeff Bezos. So there's other companies that are working on this. There's private companies working on different projects. Like there's Tokamak Energy in the UK. There's Tri-Alpha Energy that's backed by Paul Allen. And General Fusion in Canada, which does have the support of Jeff Bezos. There's First Light Fusion that's in Britain. Lockheed Martin is working on a compact fusion reactor no bigger than a truck that it claims will be ready for testing by 2028. And there's a lot of different types of fusion reactors that are in the works. Some of them are a lot more compact than this, but there's what's it called? It's like confined plasma. Then there's the stellarators. I mean,
stellarators are cool.
Yeah, the Wendelstein 7X over in Germany. So I mean, there's a lot going on, but ITER is the biggest and most expensive project so far, and I mean, it'll be cool. I mean, they're looking at 2025, which actually...
What's the footprint of the thing?
Like, how big is it?
Yeah.
It's like a large building, right? It's not like...
Well, it says it's several stories high.
It doesn't sound like
I'm not sure. So here it says the $25 billion.
It's not like enormous, It's not like it's like...
Really? Okay, yeah. Well, because what is the thing?
It's big, though.
The Large Hadron Collider thing.
Large Hadron Collider.
Yeah, because that's
Hadron Collider.
That's like many miles around, right?
Right. That's a big loop. Yeah. It's not really contained in like a single building. It's like an underground tunnel.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it 30 or 50 kilometers?
It's big.
And they're working on one that's going to be 100.
Ooh.
Is that what we just got shown in Discord over here?
I don't know.
The God particle.
Yeah. No, why don't you guys just run the show?
Yeah.
Done. Make my job easier.
We'll just, yep.
Well, I did a video a while back on the superconducting super collider that was supposed to go in here in Texas.
Oh, right.
It didn't quite happen, but it was supposed to be. It would have dwarfed the Large Hadron Collider.
Such a shame.
But what they're going to do now, apparently, is they're going to add on to the Large Hadron. That's going to be, I think, 100 kilometers or something like that. It's gigantic.
That's awesome.
So.
That's awesome, man. If they can do that.
And they'll create some black holes. They'll destroy the world. So no.
It's about time, honestly. Yeah. With the way things are going, let's just let's just go for it.
I'm tired of waiting for the comet. Let's just do it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, so Bamboo Hip Hop says it's a 42-hectare platform. Measures 1 kilometer long by 400 meters wide.
That's not big. That does not. I mean, for what it's supposed to do,
right?
That seems like I could buy that much land in Iowa for pretty cheap, probably.
and then just build your own fusion reactor.
What's the ratio of cornfields here? How many cornfields is that?
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this clip from our show. If that's just not enough for you and you want to watch the full episode, you can go to olfpod.com/YT.
And if you want more from us, you can consider becoming a Patreon member. You'll get early access to episodes. You can join our awesome community. You can actually watch us record live and get your name in the credits by going to olfpod.com/Patreon.
So thanks everyone for watching. Check back every Friday for new clips here and new episodes on the main channel.
Thanks, everybody.